I had a degree in sustainable agriculture, so I was steeped in the book learning and had worked on a number of different farms. But then by 2000, I really realized that I liked the business side of it as much as I liked the farming side of it. And so we decided to go ahead and expand from being this hobby to being more of a real deal seed company. At that point, I hired a first employee and built a small building on my property in North Wolcott, about 10 miles from here, for the seed company. And it then went through a pretty rapid growth. From 2000 to 2005, we went from 35,000 in sales to 450,000 in sales. And I was sort of poised at this place to make the decision to stay kind of small and funky or continue to grow and expand. And it was never really a decision for me. The grow and expand has kind of always been what I've been interested in, especially because when we went from 2000 to 2005, during that time we were able to pay people more, we were able to offer benefits. My life got saner rather than less sane, and our quality of the seed was better. And so all of those things made sense to me, and by being bigger, I was seeing that we were getting more of a seat at the table. We were getting invited to participate in discussions about guiding this food system. And that was the whole point for me in starting High Mowing. And also, knowing that it would be profitable and generate, some profit for me, I don't really have an interest in other homes or fancy sports cars, and Heather, my wife, doesn't really need fur coats or fancy jewelry. So all that money would just go to do more cool stuff, like build the slaughterhouse we need here in town, or invest in the next entrepreneur that's doing something, or start a revolving loan fund, or start a foundation, or whatever. Those are all things that I'm excited to do. And I think you'll find in the tours today that all of these social entrepreneurs that you're going to be visiting have a lot of excitement about being profitable, but not to line their own pockets, but because then there's just more money to do cool stuff with. At 2005, I made the decision to hire a bunch of people I couldn't afford, rent a new building that I couldn't afford, buy a computer system that I didn't need yet and couldn't afford, and basically set myself up for 3 years of losing money because of all that. But then instead of managing a crisis all the time in this continued growth, we would be a step ahead and we'd be growing into ourselves a little bit more, rather than always struggling with not having people who knew enough about this, not having enough space, not having a computer system that worked. So we needed to raise a bunch of money for that 3-year period. And we raised $800,000 through a convertible debt offering that gave the investors an exit strategy without us having to sell the company, and was very favorable to us and gave us what we needed, and we had no trouble in attracting that money, actually. It went very smoothly. And we've been working with many of our counterparts in the area here in businesses to help them set up similar type of investment models that at the end of it keep their businesses locally owned, locally governed, and still rooted in this place. Here we are now, 2009. Our fiscal year ends May 31st, and we are back in the black. So that's great. We grew 53% last year. So far this year, it's been 65%. So we're still in very rapid growth mode. All 50 states and every province in Canada. It's been that way since 2001. Mississippi was the last state to join the party. And then geographically, as far as the dollars and percentage, it's about probably overall 60 to 70% Northeast, 20% the northern part of the US and down into California, and down in a little bit to the Mid-Atlantic region, and then the final 10 or so % scattered across everywhere else. That's rough, but something about like that.